Hi and welcome back to Lavender Coco Kitchen. Well, if you're wondering what to do for your mum this Mother's Day, I can show you an easy and fun recipe you could try that your mum would probably really like. And that is a flower in a pot that is obviously all edible, and not just that, it's really good for you as well. So you can treat mum's body and mind to something really good. So we are making a flower in a pot. So I've got a little pot here. I got it at the Indian shop, which they use for chai. But if you don't have one, you can use a similar sort of container, anything that's like that. And for a stem, I'm just using a straw that has a piece of wire in it, just to reinforce it, to make it a bit stronger. Or you could use some metal stick or a wooden stick or whatever you have. So to go into the flower pot, we're going to make a delicious chocolate and chia mousse. And to make that, we're going to use coconut cream. So we're just going to use half a can of coconut cream. So if the coconut cream is a bit hard, you can just mix it together in a bowl first, just to soften it and get it together. So we really only need about half of this, half a can. This makes one, but if you want to make more than one, you can use the whole can, just double the quantities. Okay, next for the chocolatey part, I have cacao powder. So I use a 1/4 cup, and as you know, cacao is very good to enhance the mood. So it'll put mum in a happy frame of mind. A cup. Sweeten it, we'll just use some maple syrup. So usually put about 1.5 tablespoons, or you can put 2. It's really a matter of taste, of how sweet you like it. But obviously don't go overboard on the sweetener, because we really don't want to put in too much. To enhance the flavour of the chocolate, I'm going to use half a teaspoon of coffee powder. Any coffee powder is good. And coffee just sort of brings out the flavour of the chocolate a bit more. And then something I like to put in it is half a teaspoon of cinnamon, which is also really good for your health and to lower blood sugar as well. The spice that goes well with chocolate is cardamom, which is good to lower blood pressure. So just put in half a teaspoon of that. Obviously, if you don't like these spices, you don't have to put them in, but I would recommend giving them a go, like if you haven't really tried them before, because they do taste really well with chocolate and they're obviously really good for you as well. So just give it a go. And then we'll put in a bit of vanilla, about half a teaspoon, just to round off the flavour. Lastly, I'm going to put in the chia seeds. I'll put about 2 tablespoons, and this actually helps to thicken it. And also, as you know, chia is a superfood, probably worthy of that name. It's very high in protein, fibre, omega-3, antioxidants, nutrients, vitamins. It's very good. So I'll just put in a couple of tablespoons. All you have to do is mix it all together. And if you want to, you could use the blender and blend it all, but it's easy just to mix it. But obviously, if you use a blender, it'll easily get rid of these lumps. Now you've got the base of the chocolate mousse. That's just the basic recipe. And you can use it just as it is, it's great. But if you want to make it a bit more interesting, you can get really creative and you can add in some other ingredients, that whatever you like. So one good one that I like is just some pieces of chopped chocolate and nuts. So you could just add in whatever amount you like. Candied ginger. Ginger, of course, is a very good for you to boost immunity and help fight disease. You can put in fresh ginger too, that gives it a real kick. So I sometimes like to add fresh ginger. And you can add any other dried fruits too that you like. And another idea is maybe you could put in some oats or some muesli and any other kind of chopped nuts. Just put a few of those in. And of course you could always add fresh berries or chopped up fresh banana would also be good. So once that's all in, just stir it into the mixture. Now you take your pot or whatever container you have and just put the mixture in. Once you've filled the pot, you just have to put it in the fridge for probably about 2 to 3 hours, or you can even leave it overnight, or you can even make this a couple of days in advance and just leave it in the fridge. And in the fridge, of course, the mousse will firm up and it will be ready to proceed to the next stage. So you do have to make this a little bit before you're going to assemble it. Right, so now we're going to make the flour to go in the pot, which is going to look like this. The petals, just need a couple of dried apricots. And dried fruit is obviously, it's a very healthy form of sugar and also very high in nutrients as well. So we're just going to cut them in half like this. In the middle, I'm just going to use some dried prunes, or you could use dates or whatever, or even sultanas, something that has a dark center. Just cut the prune in half, so we've got something here that looks like the center of a flower. Okay, now I just melted some dark chocolate, so we're just going to put just a coin-sized piece on some paper there, and then just stick the flower petals into it like this. Okay, then just top it with a little more chocolate. And then just put the prune on the top. You just need to put that in the freezer for a few minutes so that it can set. Okay, when it's been in the freezer for a few minutes, it will have started to harden. So you can just cut out, if there's any excess bits of chocolate in between the petals, you can just cut them out like that. Just turn it over and just break off any bits like that, just so it has a better appearance. The stem in, so you've got the wire in the straw or whatever you want to use, and just push it into the center like this. And then you could use a little more chocolate around it just to make sure that it sticks in there. That should do. Okay, so just put that back in the freezer again for a few more minutes so that it can set. And you can actually leave it in the freezer overnight until whenever you want to assemble the whole flower pot. So It is fine just leaving it in the freezer. Just wrap it in some foil or something and just leave it in there. So to finish off, we'll probably be using some grated chocolate, or use a peeler just to shave the chocolate like this. Okay, so now it comes to assembling the flower pot. So we got the flour that's already set, and we got our chocolate mousse in the pot, which is set. And actually mine is cracked because it has been in the fridge for quite a few days now, but it doesn't matter because that's going to be covered up anyway. So it's very simple, really. I'll just bend that a bit. So all you have to do is put the flour in like that. And then we can use our shaved chocolate as the soil around the flour. So we'll just put that in there. Okay, and if you do want to add a little more colour and you have some matcha powder, that actually is nice, just sprinkled around. Just adds a little more colour to it. There we have that. That's done. And if you just want to make it look a little more special, you could use any kind of ribbon and just tie it around. So there you have a fun and tasty treat that I'm sure your mum's going to love. And if you actually feel really inspired, you could try making a selection of some of my recipes and put together a nice high tea for mum as well. But whatever you do, I'm sure she's going to appreciate it. So happy Mother's Day. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.